So in this video we will craft broken weapons. Guess the price of this quarter stuff? Well, it's not mirror, but it's close. Sheesh! Perfect critical elemental damage weapon. Insanely cool weapons and pretty cheaply. But if you're looking for armors, rings, amulets and other stuff that is not your weapon, it will be in separate video, which will be linked in a pinned comment and by the end of this video. Well, it all starts with the base. How you get bases for weapons? Well, you just make sure they showed up in your loot filter and then you slam Orb of Transmutation and Orb of Augmentation on top. They got minimum modifier level, and you can check them on PoE2 DB in modifier section on your respected weapon. For example, we will do quarter stuffs, but methods that I will show you right now will work for any weapon. We'll craft different types of weapons because I got bunch of bases. So level 70 means you can roll pretty high stuff. If your weapon is at least item level 82, and item level is not the same as required level, so this quarter stuff is required level 77 but item level 80. This means it can't roll tier 1 lightning damage, tier 1 increased physical damage, so we're basically limited to tier 2, that's it, because we can't roll below 70 with perfect orbs of transmutation and augmentation, but we can't roll higher than item level. That's why base, even with 3 sockets, sells only for 2 exalted orbs, because you can't roll tier 1 stuff on top. But again, it's just few exalted orbs and it's cheap crafts. If we actually check the same item with 3 sockets of item level 82, just a white base will cost 5 divine orbs. That's why, again, if you're going for cheap crafts, you're not trying to chase tier 1 rolls, you're trying to make good stuff with least amount of currency invested. So basically I collected bunch of these bases, I got different ones, and yeah, I got like lots of them, and I just get currency with me and I slam it. I just slam it. Pow! So, tier 2 lightning, as I told you. Now, when we slam 2 blue orbs, it's time to think what we can do. So this already can be sold for maybe like 150 exalted orbs. So this orb is okay-ish. But it's 11 days old, so no one buying this actually. So it's again, everyone who's trying to craft, probably crafting best stuff. We're crafting cheap and very good stuff. Here we need to understand what we can do with this weapon. Well, there's different ways and different techniques. And I like to use my paint approach. I'm going to PoE2 DB and I'm basically screenshotting all the available modifiers. And now we're basically solving a puzzle. So we got lightning damage on top, accuracy, light radius on bottom. We're taking this lightning damage on top, accuracy on bottom. And what is most important is tags. So tags located over here. Accuracy got attack tag, this got damage elemental lightning attack tag. You can use these tags to change results of the craft. And that's like most powerful way to craft in this season, basically using homogenizing exaltation omens. So this will force next exalted orb to use same modifiers. And this will use modifiers which is basically tags. But to use exalted orb, we need to first of all make sure this item is rare. So we can't use it on blue item. And to make it rare, normally you slam regal orb on top. But it will roll very randomly what will happen on the item. Unlike orbs of augmentation transmutation, our minimum modifier for regal orb is not item level 70, it's item level 50 for tier 3 regal orb. And same goes for exalted and chaos orbs. So, for example, if you just slam basic regal orb on some good item like this, it will roll between all prefixes, all suffixes, then it will pick one of them, so it's pretty low chance to hit something that we want, maybe we want like cold damage, and then it will roll from this list, basically lots of different modifiers. We're looking on this item level over here. Item level 81 is maximum for cold, but if we use perfect regal orb, it will be at least item level 50. So now we can roll like okay-ish modifiers. For example, if we roll like cold damage, we can roll minimum 43 to 66 cold damage. But there is another way how we can change outcomes, and it's essences. By adding essence to two-handed melee weapon, which is quarter staff, we can add from 57 to 88 cold damage, which is already higher roll, and it's completely forced way to get this bonus. And that's actually the way how we will craft items when we like prefix but we don't like suffix. So strategy code, we fill prefixes first, then we will deal with suffixes. It's super basics, most cheap and most stable way how to craft your weapon. It's not the perfect one, and that's why you really need to go into the market and try to find if there are any good weapons like this on the market with good damage. So you can expect what you will have in outcome anyway. I will show you outcome right now, and then we will see how much these items can cost. They won't cost a lot in most cases. So the first step will be to add our preferred essence. For elemental damage, like this for example, we get added lightning damage. We want to add extra elemental damage on top. It's nice to add fire damage for example, but I would like to have cold damage on my weapon, so let's add it. Bam, it's rare right now. So this got tier 2 physical damage roll, and before crafting just again try to see how much does this item cost. So this item, just blue item, already costs 40 exalted orbs. You can just sell it and get quarter staff for 40 exalts. It can be exactly the same that we will craft soon. Just keep in mind it's 40 exalts right now. So it's physical damage quarter staff. For physical damage we will add essence of abrasion that adds physical damage, and this essence will always go into prefixes. You can check it in PoE2 DB basically where each essence will go. So this goes into prefixes like damage. Now, as I told you, this is strategy for removing bad suffixes. And strategy works extremely good because this bad suffix, which we don't need, stun duration, accuracy rating, we don't need it, can be removed with perfect essence. And there's perfect essences that can affect top part of the weapon. For example, again, there's physical one, and it's the same perfect essence of abrasion, and there's elemental one, like perfect essence of ice. But that's how it works. It removes random modifier and augments item with new modifier. So right now we get 1 out of 3 chances to actually remove accuracy and not mess up top part. Since item is no longer magic, we can't get this extra cold damage on top. Basically we're stuck with a rare item right now. And the cheapest way to change bad suffix is to actually use Omen of Crystallization. It will be dextral or sinistral based on what you want to remove. So we got bad suffix. Then we're using dextral crystallization over here, and this will force this essence to remove suffix modifier. We got only 1 suffix, so it's 100% chance to remove it. Now it's done. So we got extra damage as cold damage. On this one we will add extra damage as physical damage. Now we got field prefixes. What we can do with suffixes? Well, there's like super meta combination. It became a little bit more costly, but you can get these essences of battle by just changing your atlas. It's really easy to farm them. They cost 34 exalts. Till this point our craft costs basically nothing if we make bases ourselves. But now we got a choice, so we basically need to slam few exalted orbs anyway. And while we can slam basic exalted orbs, we will have slightly higher chance with greater exalted orbs for better outcome, and they not costing like a lot more. So it's just a good way to slam. We're slamming 2 of them and 2 more of them. Checking what we have, and we have high rolls, but this rolls is not what we want. Actually we can like slam 1 more and 1 more. It doesn't matter too much. Most importantly, now we filled suffixes, and now every essence that should go into suffixes, like level of all attack skills, like onslaught on kill, will go into suffixes, and that's basically rotation. So we're slamming perfect essence of battle and perfect essence of haste 1 by 1 until we hit boss. But this method is pretty popular right now, so this craft costs a little bit more than before. Again, it's like 17 exalts right now for this essence, it's 34 for this essence, 50 exalts total. It's not too much, but again, it costs a little bit. Another thing that we will need is actually preserved job bonds that will desecrate our weapon. But let's not forget, we want to desecrate suffix, because our prefixes is perfect, so we will need to use this dextral necromancy omen, and it will change one of the mods on the bottom into this green mod. The best way to start is to actually use essence of haste first. Pow! We got onslaught. Now we can desecrate again, and basically we're rolling through all of this stuff. So we desecrated onslaught, we're trying to desecrate again, and finally we hit green and onslaught. Now we're using perfect essence of battle, and again it's 1 of 3 chances to hit increased stun duration over here. Pow! Not lucky. We hit a desecrated modifier. We can continue like this cycle, but weapon is pretty good even right now. So I got 3 slots. Let's add just basic runes inside and compare it with my DPS. So my DPS right now on my quarterstaff is 82k. With this quarterstaff it's 66k. Guys, this quarterstaff is more than enough to like defeat all the content you wish, basically. It's super good. And this method is just good to make anything. So I wasn't like extremely lucky, but we used 2 essences of haste for 30 exiles and 1 essence of battle for 30 more exiles. Total craft cost is around 60 exiles for this quarter stuff, maybe like a little bit more with other essences. Our somewhat estimated price for this is not definitely like 6 divine orbs, but maybe like 1 or 2 divine orbs. That's like estimated price for this kind of weapon. Right now price is 280 for 1 divine orb, so it's 1/5 of divine orb, this quarter stuff over here. Now let's quickly check if there's something similar on the market, and yeah, it's kinda similar stuff. As you can see, it's still on slot, level 2 all attack skills, and desecrated modifier with spirit reservation efficiency. So that's like what you can expect, but it's not a lot of them. So that's why you check market, and if you see that quarter stuff that you're looking for is around like 2 divine orbs, you can expect to get something like this with just like with less than 1 divine orb. So for this physical weapon it will be completely the same. I don't want to waste essences on this one. I'm not like selling this. Probably I will later, but for now I don't need it. So that's how it works. In the end, if you got all 3 mods, if you got desecrated modifier, level 2 attack skills, and also on slot effect, you just go into Well of Souls, you reveal your weapon, and you try to get something cool over here. Again, it may be something that you need. For this quarter stuff we will try to get Force Socket. How? We got it. Now, what other types of weapons we may face, and what strategies we may use? For example, you should already understand that if there's extra physical damage on top, in prefix, we kind of trying to build physical weapon. If there is lightning or other elemental damage, we're building elemental weapon. The main problem with prefixes is all they share attack tag. So basically when you're trying to roll attack tag on top, you can roll between all of them, and it's super random. But there's slight chance that you may roll elemental tag. So that's where the hard part about weapons begins. You sometimes need to take risks and try to craft like super good stuff. Because as much as I like this onslaught and plus level 2 all skills combination, I really don't like onslaught. I like increased attack speed, for example, on my weapons. And this can be done with greater essence of haste. What you need to understand that increased attack speed will add speed tag to our weapon, but speed is not a problem. It's completely not a problem. It will still share attack tag, so we're not adding any tags that will mess us up. So that's the next method when you actually like the bottom part. I really like this leeching physical damage as mana on my build, and if you want to keep it, well, there's few ways. We can start with Essence of Haste, and we can add this attack speed over here. For this weapon we will start with different way. We will go with Essence of Abrasion to add physical damage. I will show you like kinda like different way how we can approach. Now we will use desecrations, but we can actually affect which type of desecration we will choose. So for example, on this quarter staff I will really like to increase my cold damage since I'm playing cold build. This means I need this modifier, increased cold damage, and it will be Curgular modifier. So we're using Job Bond that will add modifier to our weapon. We're making sure that we're using Omen of Black Blooded, so we're adding Curgular, and also we're making sure that we're adding it in prefix. To make sure we're adding it in prefix, we will use Omen of Sinistral Necromancy, so it's a new green guy mechanic. All of this will add modifier on top. Now for this weapon, we will make a different plan right now. Since I don't care about this weapon a lot, it's kind of copy of mine, but mine is already good. I will add also Desecrator. I will add it on top, but I'm not choosing any modifier, so you will see outcome. So we get full prefixes. Now it's kind of time to slam on this weapon. I will use just Greater Exalted Orbs to show you what can happen, and we got like pretty bad modifiers. So again, it's just for showcase what we can do right now. Our basic combination of Essence of Battle and Essence of Haste until we hit physical damage as mana, gaining onslaught, and level 2 all attack skills. It will be a pretty good weapon, but you probably can buy something like this. Now for this quarter stuff, we can actually change outcomes even more. And what we will do, we will use Fracturing Orb. That's why I added this modifier. So Fracturing Orb will lock one of the modifiers, but it can be used only on weapons with at least 4 modifiers. Therefore, previously I was not able to use it, but right now I'm able because I got 4 modifiers, but this modifier can't be locked. This basically gives me chance to lock lightning damage in 1 out of 3 situation. So we will try to do it. Pow, we locked attack speed. Is this bad? No. We get attack speed, and getting attack speed is super hard because we can't roll attack speed after we used this greater essence of haste, and it's super hard to roll attack speed also, it's like very low chance. So we rolled pretty okay-ish modifier, but right now we need to gamble again. If I locked lightning damage, I would actually use Perfect Essence of Battle with Omen of Sinistral Crystallization. Since lightning damage is locked, it will remove Desecrated modifier and will add +6 level to all attack skills on the bottom part. Then I will Desecrate modifier again, and then I will use Omen of Homogenizing Exaltation to probably be lucky and roll extra elemental damage on top, just extra chances. This craft right now, we don't have this option, so what we will do? There's 2 options. It again depends on how you like this item and if this item looks good to you. I can actually use Homogenizing Exaltation with Perfect Exalted Orb, for example, and also with double Perfect Exalted Orb by using Greater Exaltation over here. It will fill last 2 slots, and since our text right now is damage, elemental, attack, speed, attack, and we already got mana, there's super high chance to actually roll something from physical and probably from attack. And if it's attack, it can roll critical hit chance, it can roll like other cool stuff, and we can have like pretty good weapon. But this good weapon will lack this extra 6 levels to all skills. That's why, again, I'm not doing this option right now. It costs a lot, and you can buy like okay-ish quality stuff for the price of 500 Exalted Orbs, which is 1 Perfect Exalted Orb. We're going for a little bit of gambling. Since we like our top part, it's 50-50 to remove lightning damage, and I want to keep it. So, to keep lightning damage, we actually need to have 1 more prefix modifier. And again, it depends on what you actually want to gamble with and what you wish to sacrifice. If you don't wish to gamble with lightning damage, then we can do the same in suffixes. So what we will do? We will use one of the omens that will add Exalted Orb to prefix or suffix. For me, again, let's not gamble with lightning damage. I'm just trying to be you, and you probably want this high lightning damage. It makes sense. And we want to keep physical damage as mana also. So we will add it to suffix. We got life per enemy hit, and that's what we want to remove. We will remove it with Perfect Essence of Battle. Again, we filled suffixes, it got no other way to go, and it's 50-50 right now to remove Grant 5 life per enemy hit. Now, we removed it. Okay, we got perfect suffixes right now, that's perfect. If we did it other way, we would have 33% chance to remove lightning damage, or this modifier, or new modifier. But we got 0% chance to remove this Lich Mana. Again, Lich Mana is what I like in my build, on quarter stuff, so it's like my preference. That's why I like to craft for myself, but here we are. So we got like pretty good stuff. Now again, if your weapon is super perfect, you can just slam Perfect Exalted Orb on top. Is it actually super perfect? I would say no. And that's where we start to gamble again. So that's basically how we craft perfect weapons. You need to win few rolls. We just won 50-50 with this essence on bottom. Now we will slam 1 exalt on top, and we get add cold damage, which is also okay, tier 4. Since it's also okay, we can actually keep it. But another option, if we roll, for example, accuracy, and we don't need accuracy, we can try to gamble a little bit with Perfect Essence of Towing. So it will remove one of the modifiers, and it's basically 3 modifiers right now. And if it removes accuracy, we will have extra cold damage instead of accuracy, and it will be a really good quarter stuff. Even right now, it's pretty nice elemental damage quarter stuff. Let's go and reveal it. Since there's only 2 Kurgular modifiers, we are basically guaranteed to see them. That's why I'm not bringing any other omens, and that's like super cheap craft we just did. First of all, let's actually reveal this one. We not used any extra omens, so it's a random modifier. And when it's random, well, you can roll like loads of stuff. You can basically roll pretty basic modifiers, like increased elemental damage with attack. So that's how you make a basic weapon without Kurgular modifiers, which is pretty weird for some builds. Now, this will show Kurgular modifier, and it's increased cold damage, increased freeze build-up. That's basically what we're taking. And again, there is an option to actually gamble a little bit and try to use Perfect Essence on top. If we remove cold damage and get 30% of extra cold damage, it's a big deal since our total damage is pretty good on this quarter stuff. But even in this current form, I was really interested how it will look like against my quarter stuff, which is pretty good. It's like tier 1 physical damage roll, extra physical on top, cold damage, stuff like that. So it's actually like a little bit worse. But it's elemental damage, which is pretty cool also. Like a lot higher chance to shock enemies, for example, with this extra lightning damage. Probably higher freeze will be, so damage is not everything. Damage on tooltip, of course. This quad stuff looks pretty good. But here's the main part. Most important stuff when you're trying to make good weapons is actually where you start. For example, this base right now, just blue item I got, can cost like 20 divine orbs. So blue item to craft on. You see, it's super valuable because everyone values critical hit chance when it's already on a weapon. However, it goes for critical chance tier 1, or as just a good critical hit damage like weapon that gives you nice critical damage. But you don't want to invest this crazy amount of divines in just base to craft on. And of course they cost a lot when they craft it. Well, instead of using high critical hit chance, you're starting with critical damage bonus. So I got this 25% critical damage bonus on lower item level item, and this costs just 1 divine orb. 1 exalt orb, sorry. You just need to search quarter staff with 2 critical damage bonus, magic, and for example, you're looking for 25. Loads of options just for 1 exalted orb. That's how you can easily find good bases. So why starting with critical damage bonus is so good if you're doing and you want critical hit weapon? Because there's an essence, of course, that will give you up to 3.8 critical hit chance. Guess what? Let's drop it on top. It's tier 3 bonus. So yeah, it's not tier 1, but it's more than enough. It's almost tier 2. Now again, to make this weapon extremely good, we get critical damage bonus, critical hit chance, we get elemental damage with attacks. What we need desecration on top. It can be a random desecration if you're looking for some physical damage bonuses, for example. It can be a random desecration, but if you're looking for some special bonuses like me, I'm looking for cold damage bonus. It will be Kurgular modifier. So we're adding it in prefix, and this quality stuff is already good. The same algorithm as before. We're going with fracturing orb. We're hoping to lock in elemental damage with attacks. Now it's locked. Now the juicy part. Most important part on bottom is of course getting loads of attack damage. And what is a better way to get loads of attack damage if not level 2 all attack skills? If I slam it right now, it can remove critical damage bonus or critical hit chance. I don't want it. Therefore it's sinistral crystallization, which is extra 30 exalted orbs to this craft cost. And this essence of battle, it's 34 exalts plus fracturing orb, so we're looking on like 100 exalted orbs cost of this craft right now. Making sure I'm removing prefix, yes, and it will remove this green prefix that I don't need. Pow, it's done. Now here's the fun part. While yes, you can use perfect exalted orb, there is a problem that even if you roll, for example, lightning damage, it rolls minimum modifier level 50. So it can roll loads of pretty low lightning damage rolls. Same goes for cold damage rolls. And it still can roll accuracy that you just don't need. So there's 2 ways how you can approach it. And this cost of craft can add 500 exalts if I just slam perfect exalted orb on top and I hope for something good. It can be done, but I won't do it because it's just a fun item of item level 74. I bossed it for fun for like 1 exalt. Again, make sure to watch on item level when you're buying bases. You need high item level for good high damage stuff. But that's basically how we can fix not perfect stuff. We will just slam basic greater exalt, we hope for something good, and we hit increased physical damage, which is actually good. So now, if we hit something bad, not increased physical damage, we can do the same trick with essence, and we can change it for like extra cold damage on top. Honestly, we will do it just for fun, so it's sinistral crystallization to remove top part, and I will remove this physical damage bonus, but just for you, so you can check damage right now. It's 49k. What is better, 100% increased physical damage or actually ice damage? So let's change it and check it. Yeah, increased ice damage is a lot better. Funniest part, it's not calculated in DPS, so people actually don't know how good this roll is. But T1 physical damage is definitely better. And again, we're desecrating it with Kurgal modifier. We don't even need this prefix Omen right now, since it will go into free slot, which is in prefix. We reveal it, we always hit cold damage. Make sure to check other mods, because you may roll tier 1 physical, which is really good. And here we are, perfect critical elemental damage weapon. You can use the same recipe and same way when you're making like fire damage, lightning damage, and it will give you like insanely perfect weapons. And all you need is to win bunch of rolls. most of this weapon is actually pretty like 100% fail proof, and it's pretty good one. Before we'll try to make something good from this quarter stuff, let's make one more fun craft, and this is way how you can kinda get what you need if you don't have what you need. For example, I need this extra mana leech. And this comes with mana tag. We already got mana tag on the bottom, so it's mana per enemy killed, and there's only one extra mana bonus on bottom part. So I kinda guaranteed to hit this mana if I go and use homogenizing omen on bottom. But then I will need to kinda try and roll 50/50s on bottom, and honestly, mana leech is not what you want to waste your resource on. It's like pretty easy to find. So instead we will use homogenizing carnation, which is like super cheap omen. It's like 5 exalts right now, and perfect regal orb, which is 16 exalted orbs, but again it's pretty cheap. So it's 50/50 chance. One of them I will get mana leech, one of them I will get something cool elemental attack damage on top. Pow, we got tier 1 elemental damage on top, which is just crazy. And again, that's basically how you approach weapons. You just roll with what you get. There's lots of stuff you can roll, and you need to kind of adapt on the fly. That's why you need to understand how crafts work, and that's why, again, I'm explaining my tough process. So we get mana per enemy killed. We want to remove it from the bottom part. We don't need it. And that looks like a really good weapon right now. How we will remove it? Well, it's super easy, and at the same time super cheap. Omen of Dextral Crystallization will do the job for us. There's again different approaches to this weapon. So I can go with this extra damage as cold damage, which should look good on this weapon. Or there's another approach. We can actually start filling suffixes with desecrated modifier on top. Then we roll suffixes until we hit, for example, onslaught and level 2 all attack skills, and we are done. Maybe, just maybe, I will do exactly this. So we will keep it. Yeah, there's like 3/4 stuffs over here, and I want at least one to be better than mine in my hands right now. Okay, how to work with this quarter stuff, which got lightning damage, critical hit chance, tier 1 rolls. It's super good, it's like very powerful, and if you want to have cheap and powerful version of this, well, again, we need to kinda go into one side and then fracture another. So we need to win this roll. And now we need to decide how we will do it. So one of the ways is to actually go with increased attack speed, so we will feel bottom part, and then try to desecrate lightning damage on top. It's like a good choice. Another way is to add, for example, fire damage, and it will be like really good elemental damage quarter stuff. And then try to desecrate critical hit chance. I mean fracture critical hit chance. But I'm thinking about desecrate because just for showcase, I got this ancient jawbone over here, and we can desecrate a rare weapon or keyword. It will give us a chance to get like better outcome of our roll, and it costs like 2 divine orbs. That's actually the stuff you're using on like best weapons. We need to understand what will be our next moves after we desecrate this. Okay, here's the fun part. It's very tempting for me to actually drop fire damage on top, then desecrate and try to fracture critical hit chance. So we can drop like onslaught and essence of battle. But it will be like a lot better if we actually fracture lightning damage. So we can fill bottom part with level 2 all attack skills and attack speed, since 25% attack speed is just too good. And then top part will be essence and perfect fracture, perfect desecration. So we're going with attack speed. I hope I'm not messing up. Now we're using basic desecration on our prefix, since we don't care about it too much. Pow. And now we're hoping to fracture lightning damage. Pow. Increased attack speed. Okay, it is what it is. It's attack speed again. Now it's Gamba time. As I told you, chance to remove lightning damage right now is 50/50, and I want to lower it to 33%. Therefore, we're adding Exalted Orb on top. And we rolled accuracy rating and increased physical damage, so it's mixed, but it's okay-ish. Now we need to win a roll. I'm okay if I will remove this mixed physical damage. I don't want, but I'm okay. We need to remove this green stuff, basically. It will be like best case scenario. Let's try to do it. How? Okay, we kinda won. So from this state, this weapon is okay-ish, at least. We removed mixed physical damage and accuracy, that's fine. Now, we need to reveal this modifier. However, since it's random, I will use Omen of Abyssal Echoes. It will give me ability to change outcome at least once. So if we roll complete trash, we will try to reroll it for something good. And that's basically what we rolled. I would say almost complete trash, but we need to double check. So 40% increased physical damage and accuracy is tier 6. Yeah, that's bad. But increased fire damage is okay-ish. We don't not inflicting fire damage, therefore we need to reroll it. And we got flat physical, which is kinda okay. Now the most curious part. Can this quarterstaff be better than all previous ones? So let's check based on DPS. We got 82k right now with this quarterstaff. Right now it's 60k. It's pretty good since it's 5 bonuses only. But this one is 68. This one is 69 and this one 64. So all of them are right now better, but they with runes, of course, with like quality. Let's make it fair. I added runes and quality and we are 66k right now. So technically we get like 2 options. We can live with this extra physical damage. It's not a boss roll possible, or we can change it just for fun, since we're doing some cool crafts today, mostly like cheap ones, which all performed really well. I will use my Omen of Light, which is 700 exalted orbs, so it's like investment. Again, you don't need to do it. This weapon is completely fine if you follow the steps. You just slam 1 more exalt and we are good. But we will remove this desecrated modifier just so I can show you outcome. So it will be removed right now. It will Omen of Light basically forcing Orb of Annulment to remove this modifier, green one. And now we can slam Perfect Exalt on top and we can pray for something good, or as I told you, we can use Ancient Jawbone. Ancient Jawbone should not be used with these Kurgular modifiers because it can roll pretty good stuff. So we're just dropping it on top. It will go into prefix, and let's reveal. Of course, getting another chance with Omen of Abyssal Echoes. Let's hope for something good. And we got some nice cold damage. It's tier 3. We can live with this, or we can reroll. Let's reroll. And we got this fire damage, which is tier 2 fire damage, which is just insane. The last part is just Perfect Exalted Orb. And we hope for some good prefix. How? Increased elemental damage with attacks. It's just completely perfect. Checking tooltip. This weapon right now, my weapon basically, main weapon, got 74 DPS, but we at 83. So that's finally like craft, but this craft costs a little bit of divines. However, outcome, if you know what you're doing, can lead up to 100 or even more divines based on the market. Again, you need people to buy it. If there's no monks, well, you won't sell it. But this good stuff is actually good, and yeah, it can go for like 100 divines. Total investment is around 10 divine in this craft, so it's like high-end craft, but that's how it works. Let's finish this craft. Again, we kinda will tweak outcomes. For example, right now we get loads of text on top and pretty powerful stuff on top. Therefore, I would really like this extra cold damage on top. And extra damage can be in the form of desecration of Kurgular modifier, but it can be in form of Perfect Essence of Ice. So I don't need this mana per enemy killed. We will remove suffix modifier and we will add extra cold damage on top. Now we got insanely cool overpowered tier 1 cold damage quarterstaff. Now it's time to fill our suffixes, and that's how it's done. We can go into cheap road that I already showed you, and cheap road will be extremely simple. We just fill out suffixes, you hope there's something good, there should be 1 desecration, and we just rotate Essence of Battle with Essence of Haste. That's it. So it's like the same stuff we did on first quarterstaff, but this looks good. I'm in a good mood since I upgraded my quarterstaff. It's really fun. Therefore, we will add Perfect Exalted Orb with Omen of Greater Exaltation. However, if I add it, well, every Exalted Orb will roll loads of stuff. It can roll stun duration, stun build up and stuff like that. Stuff that I don't need. I really would like to focus on just attack modifiers, at least. So to make sure we're not just wasting Perfect Exalted Orb, we will use Homogenizing Exaltation. This will force to use modifiers we already have, and it's elemental damage attack modifiers, so at least we have something okay-ish at bottom. Let's see, and it's leech physical damage as mana and as life. Now here's the fun part. We don't need life, but leeching physical damage as mana is okay. That's the step where essences come into play. So we just drop Greater Exalted Orb, we fill suffixes and its attack speed, which is just great. We don't need actually Essence of Haste no more. We just need to hit Perfect Essence of Battle, and it's 1 out of 3 chances to hit life. Let's hope we hit life, and here we are. The perfect quarterstaff just done. Guess the price of this quarterstaff? Well, it's not mirror, but it's close. Oh my goodness, we just made history. And this quarterstaff is 10% better. Oh yeah, that's just perfect. That's also perfect. Sheesh, I hope you learned something good today. How to make insanely overpowered weapons for your builds. And this weapons was pretty on a budget. However, of course there's more slots. There's armor, helmet, gloves and boots that can help you, and also there's rings. And to learn how to craft them, watch video on the screen right now.